to ShareTreck. Today is the 21st of January 2021, and as usual, the market is not looking that great, but this is to be expected given the volatile environment and the risks that we are facing. But in terms of CRISPR-related news, I have one news which I would like to start with, and then we'll go on to the technical analysis and view of market and price movements in our CRISPR shares. So the first item I have to share with you is basically this article in news-medical.net. It talks about high-speed cell sorter that uses fluorescent imaging. So basically, isolating cells with phenotypes of interest is key to understanding the underlying genetic and molecular processes and how they determine the cell function. So if a cell is to function properly, it has to have the proper dynamics under it, and isolating cells with phenotypes of interest is key to understanding those dynamics. However, current approaches to cell sorting and characterization are limited spatially and lack subcellular resolution. So we have a very superficial view at this point of time with the tools that we have. Daniel and colleagues present a fully integrated high-speed image-enabled cell sorter, which they call ICS, which records multicolor fluorescence images and sorts cells based on them at speeds upward of 15,000 events per second. So I can't imagine how this happens, but let us assume that it's like an automatic app which can just sort through cells, and it can do that at the rate of 15,000 events per second. And after that, it provides a fundamentally new capability for probing deep into the molecular mechanisms underlying cell physiology and protein localizations. So the way I look at it is that at the end of the day, CRISPR-Cas combination, whether it is Cas9, Cas3, or Cas13, is going to be like a getaway car, that is to take the crew to the haste location, and the gang that separates the bank from its money at that location. So if you have that analogy in mind, then I think that ICS is very important to most CRISPR companies, because it can unveil a map of locations and mutations that can be targeted with the CRISPR-Cas9 combo to repair and resolve illnesses. So this will kind of reduce the lead time needed for identifying candidates in the pipelines that are going to be more viable and much likely to be monetized early. So this is my thoughts. If any of you have better ideas, just let me know, put it in the comment below. So this is the only good news that I had today. And the other one I would like to talk to you about was in my Twitter feed. I got a tweet from Intellia Therapeutics, which spoke about their pipelines. So if I were to click this, so they have got NTLA 2001, this is in early stage clinical, and NTLA 2002, which is also in early stage clinical, and they have sickle cell disease also in early stage clinical, that is HIX 763 and OTQ 923, and they also have the acute myeloid leukemia, NTLA 5001, which is in the early stage. So they have got both in vivo and ex vivo. We have seen this pipeline recently in one of my videos earlier, so I don't think I have anything new to talk about here, but that's the only other new thing I have. So let's go on to have a look at the Vixen. The Vixen has gone up again, and it has gone above the resistance, which is now going to become a support out here. And the resistance was at 30.70, and our MACD is very bullish, and our RSI momentum is also quite high, so there is going to be a lot of slippage. As a result, you can see that Nasdaq has lost 1.22%. So it's not just our CRISPR shares that are suffering. So if we were to go into established technology stocks like Apple is also down today. Amazon is down 3.69%. Of course, Netflix had a big beating with its earnings, so it's down 20%, and that also brings down the sentiment of the market overall. We have Microsoft, which is kind of flat today. Shopify is down another 7.99%. Google is down 0.62%. So, and Salesforce is the only one that is in the positive with 0.44 positive. So it's not just CRISPR, it's technology also, because the CRISPR and technology both share a lot of characteristics, which is like they are on high multiples, and their promise of more revenue is in the future as opposed to current, except for some companies like Microsoft and Apple here. And if we go into the new technology companies like Marathon, which is tied to Bitcoin, it's lost 6.97%. Upstart has lost 8.65%. SoFi, which got a national bank license just a couple of days ago, is down by 4.4%. And Fiverr, which was doing great in 3 figures earlier, is now down 0.67%. Coinbase, another luminary, is down 11.71%. So it's not just CRISPR, it's all over the place. Now let us look at automobile, where Tesla is a high flyer. Tesla is down into 961. At one point of time, Tesla was close to 1250. So it has dropped a lot despite doing gangbuster performance and selling so much of car as against the expectation due to semiconductor conductor and being ahead in its field. It is still suffering. It's as low as it has been in the last year or so. And let us look at our banking sector. So we would reason that if everything is going down in technology and all, perhaps the banking and financial sector might go up because of interest rate hikes and all. Even that is down. So it shows that the market has got total negative sentiment at this point of time. So the likes of Citibank is down 1.07, Visa is down 1.7%, JP Morgan is down 1.11. So it's all looking red out here. Now let's go on to pharma and health. This is where you see a bit of glimmer in Abbott, which is a behemoth. It's a big company, and it's up 0.63%. Johnson & Johnson is up 0.15%. These are all marginal positives, but the rest of the whole market is in the negative. AbbVie, Merck, Walgreen Boots Alliance, Dr. Reddy's, mRNA, BioNTech, all are down. Now let's come to biotech, which is our area of interest. So when you look at the entire market and then come to biotech, isn't it heartening to see Bluebird up 3.75%, Verve up 2.86%, Intelia up 2.38%, Beam up 2.34%, Vertex up 0.94%, Regeneron up 0.21%, Editas up 0.16%, and then you have ArcG marginally down by 0.15%, and the biggest loss is in Pfizer, which is minus 2.01%. So this is much like a dead cat bounce kind of a situation, which happens because when the entire market goes down, then there are market investors who try to shuffle the holdings, which are all negative, so that they can move into sectors they think which are totally beaten up and are likely to bounce a little. So as I mentioned yesterday, most of our shares were in the red by the end of the market. So now today in the morning they are in the green. By evening they will be back into red. So there might be some investors who are playing on this small amount of positives. So they have piled into some of these stocks. But believe me, at the end of the day, when we come back tomorrow, the greens are going to be red and the reds are going to be green. And this is how things are going to move until the external macroeconomic issues are resolved. So let's take a look at Bluebird. So Bluebird is marginally up 7.18, and we have our resistance at 7.97. That's our first point of resistance. Our MACD is bearish, and there is no momentum in this share. It's just about picking up, but it's very low. So I'm not sure whether this 0.24 will sustain for the end of the day. Right now it is 12:49, so we got another 4 hours almost to go, and I don't think Bluebird is going to end up with a positive at the end of the day. Let's look at Verve, which is up 2.97%, and it has gone above this support. So we have to hope that the support of 33.69, if it holds for the day, that would be great. Our MACD is turning bullish, and our momentum is picking up. It's in the neutral right now, but it's picking up, it's pointed upwards. So I'm feeling heartened that we will probably stay above our resistance, above our support level, which we saw at 33.69. So right now we are at 34.28. So this could probably sustain, and we may remain positive today for Verve. Let's go on to Intelia, which is up 1.37%, and we have kind of fallen below this diagonal line, which has been with us for the longest time. And so I'm hoping that we stay above this by the end of the day, or else this is going to become a big resistance for us. By the looks of the MACD and the RSI, both of which are totally bearish, I don't think that's going to happen. So this a positive gain of 1.14 for Intelia may not sustain for the day, and we may probably fall below this diagonal line before close of market today. Let's go on to Beam, which is up 1.99%. The MACD is bearish, and the RSI shows that the momentum is just about picking up, but we have a resistance here which is at 65.12. So we should be aiming at beating that. But looking at the way the indicators are out here, I don't think that's a possibility. We may probably end up positive for Beam, but I don't see us breaking through this resistance at 65.21. If we did and it became a support, I hope that we stay above that for the following day. Vertex is up 0.80%, and Vertex has been on a bullish run upwards. So I feel that Vertex will probably manage to stay above the support at 229.32 and close the day just below the resistance of 234.58. So maybe we will probably see Vertex ending the day up maybe $1.75 to $2. That's about it. That's what I can see based on what I see here, because the MACD is flat, and also we are in an overbought kind of a situation when it comes to the RSI. If you see out here, we are in an overbought condition. So any jump, if any, will be temporary, and we may probably move sidewards just above the support. But I don't think we are going to fall below this support, but I don't think we are going to break the resistance either. We're going to lie between these two extremes. Next, we go to Regeneron, which is up 0.02%, and we are still above a support of 610.88, and we have fallen below the earlier support of 619.54, which I'm going to mark now as a resistance. And our MACD is flat, and RSI is neutral, so I don't see Regeneron being able to hold on to this positive gain. Before the end of the day, it's most likely to be in the red, but it will stay above the support of 610.88. That's my reading of the situation. Next, let's go on to Editas. Editas is struggling just above the support of 18.20. We are currently at 18.72. The MACD is bearish, and there is no momentum, so there is a good chance that we may fall below the support before the end of the day, and our deficit may be more than 0.07. We may probably end up with a minus 0.60 or something like that. Next, let us look at ARCG. So ARCG is down 0.48, and we are struggling to break this resistance at 48.82, which was earlier a support but has now become a resistance, so I'm marking it red. So it looks very tough for ARCG. Momentum is totally short out, and the MACD is very bearish. But I still think ARCG is good value, but what we think doesn't matter as long as the market doesn't give the value, because it's like a falling knife right now, and it may fall further. So I've already, as you know, I've already bought some ARCG last week, and it's going deep red slowly. So I would rather sit and watch things pick up consecutively for 2 or 3 days before investing anymore. So right now it's in the wait and watch mode. And let's look at PACB. And MACD is also bad, and so is the RSI. So I don't know if PACB is going to hold on to any amount of positivity for the day. It's already negative, and it's likely to end up negative before end of the day. I guess that it may fall probably 1% or so. It's already down 0.58, so I would expect that it may fall another 0.5% and end up at minus 1% by the close of market. CRISPR is down 0.70, and we have a green candle here, but the MACD is bearish, as well as the momentum is falling, and it's already low. So I don't see CRISPR picking up any. Now, regardless of the fundamentals, right now I don't think the market is rational. All the movements that you're seeing here, in my opinion, they are happening without any rational. It's just people shuffling their shares, trying to lock themselves into more value companies, which are most likely to bounce back at the slightest positive news. So that's how I would look at all these movements. There is no rationale behind CRISPR having such less value, in my opinion. It's a much more valuable company. Novartis is down minus 0.96. Again, this is a dividend paying company, and it has got It's got a lot of patents and everything, so I don't see why it should be down today. But as I said, the market is not rational right now. We have broken through 3 supports, so I'm going to mark those supports as resistances before I move out of this page, so that tomorrow we have a good enough chart to see. So we have broken below the latest resistance, which is at 87.42. We are right now at 87.32. Our MACD is bearish. Our momentum is also falling very rapidly. As you can see here, this line has fallen steeply. So I don't think we are going to be positive for the day. Let me go to the 1-day scenario and see what the MACD and both the MACD and RSI are looking bearish even on a 1-day scenario. So it's not looking good for Novartis. Let's look at TDOC, which is down 2%. That is $1.65. And MACD is flat, and momentum is also below neutral. So I don't see much good coming out of TDOC. Probably TDOC might end up slightly better by close of market. Maybe it may end up with 1.25 negative $1.25, or maybe minus 1.75% by the end of the day. But that's about all I can see from here. And Pfizer is down 2.1%. Again, I scratch my head on why Pfizer should have such a huge drop. It's a pretty good company, and it has got a great track record, but both the MACD and the RSI are looking absolutely bearish. So even this $1.19 deficit is likely to expand before the close of market. So that's what it looks like. And now to my concluding remarks are that whatever I have done here by looking at the MACD and the RSI, I don't think it's going to hold valid for even 3 or 4 hours, because in a volatile market everything changes very rapidly. So as you can see on the screen while we are talking, on this side already some of the shares which were in green earlier have gone into red, and some that were in red have gone into neutral and green, like PACB for example. So we have gone through this exercise just to see what it could be, but you can't trust the market right now. You can't trust the indicators. So just be steady, hold on to your confidence, and believe that things are going to get better in due course. Market won't be low forever. So that's all I got for you, friends, and thanks for viewing this video, and thanks to all the subscribers for staying with us during these challenging times. It's difficult to make any content at this point of time, but I'm going to give it my best and try to bring some value for you. And please keep checking out the videos, and please do mark your likes. They keep me going. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.